Hello everyone, welcome to Study Buddy Homeschooling. In today's session, we'll be seeing CBSE Class 10 English Glimpses of India, third chapter, Tea from Assam by Arup Kumar Dutta. Let's go into the chapter Tea from Assam by Arup Kumar Dutta. It's very important to remember the author's name with the correct spellings. Pranjol, a youngster from Assam, is Rajvir's classmate at school in Delhi. So Pranjal and Rajvir are schoolmates who are studying in a school in Delhi. Pranjal is a youngster from Assam. So he's a native of Assam, but he is studying in a school in Delhi. So his friend is Rajvir. Pranjal's father is a manager of a tea garden in Upper Assam. So Pranjal's father is working as a manager in a tea garden in Upper Assam. And Pranjal has invited Rajveer to visit his home during the summer vacation. So now what has happened is it's vacation time. So Pranjal has invited his friend Rajveer to Assam during the summer vacation. They both study in Delhi, a school in Delhi. But Pranjal is from Assam basically. So he has invited his friend Rajveer to come to Assam during the summer vacation. So let's go into the story. This is the background and let's go into the story. Chai garam, garam chai. A vendor called out in a high-pitched voice. Chai garam, garam chai. Hot tea, a vendor. Vendor refers to a seller. Called out. He shouted loud in a high-pitched voice, in a very loud voice. He came up to their window and asked, Chai Saab? He came up to their window. Probably they are traveling in a train and asked, Chai Saab, do you want chai? Give us 2 cups, Pranjal said. So Pranjal said, give us 2 cups because Pranjal and Rajveer, both of them are going to Assam from Delhi, probably in train. They sipped the steaming hot liquid. So they sipped the tea. Almost everyone in their compartment was drinking tea too. So almost everyone in the train compartment is taking tea. Do you know that over 80 crore cups of tea are drunk every day throughout the world? Rajveer said. So the friend Rajveer is asking, do you know that over 80 crore cups of tea are drunk every day throughout the world? Ooh, exclaimed Pranjal. Pranjal could not really believe, though his father is working in tea plantations as a manager. Tea really is very popular, he says. The train pulled out of the station. So now they both are going by train from Delhi to Assam. In the way, in one of the station, the train stopped and a chai person was trying to sell chai and they got 2 chais and they had it. And now the train pulled out of the station, which means it has again started from the station. The halt has stopped and it started again. Pranjal buried his nose in his detective book again. So Pranjal seems to be a very studious person. He seems to be really interested in books. So he buried his nose, which means he's so much into the book now. What book? It's a detective book again. Rajveer too was an ardent fan of detective stories. He is also very much into detective stories, but at the moment he was keener on looking at the beautiful scenery. So Pranjal is busy reading a detective book. Rajveer is also very much interested in detective stories, but at this moment he wants to see outside of the train. He wants to see the beautiful scenes as the train is going from Delhi to Assam. It was green everywhere. So it was full of greenery everywhere, lots of plants. Rajveer had never seen so much greenery before. He had never seen so much greenery before. So it's like beautiful for him that it's definitely he doesn't want to read the book now. He wants to see outside the train what's happening as the train is moving. Then the soft green paddy fields gave way to tea bushes. So first there were lots of paddy fields and now suddenly the paddy fields were disappearing and lots of tea bushes were appearing. Tea is a shrub which is a very bushy plant. It's not tall, it's a very bushy shrub. It was a magnificent view. It was a very stunning and extremely beautiful view. Magnificent refers to extremely stunning and beautiful. He could not believe the sight of the tea bushes were just magnificent, very beautiful. Against the backdrop of densely wooded hills, a sea of tea bushes stretched as far as the eye could see. So, against the backdrop of densely wooded hills, it looked as if there are hills behind which were densely forested, densely wooded with lots of trees. A sea of tea bushes stretched as far as the eye could see. So as soon as whatever he could see from the window of the train, it was like everywhere it is just only tree plantations against a backdrop of woody hills. Dwarfing the tiny tea plants were tall, sturdy shade trees, and amidst the orderly rows of bushes busily moved doll-like figures. So dwarfing the tiny tea plants were tall, sturdy trees, shady trees. What happens is generally in tea plantations, there are certain species of trees which are planted. Examples are silver oaks. These trees are there to provide the shade. Tea cannot grow well if too much of sunlight is there. So there are some shade plants like the silver oak plants which are kept in the tea plantation so that these trees provide the shade. And amidst the orderly row of bushes busily moved doll-like figures. So there were doll-like figures, the females who were working busily in the field. Let's move to the next stanza. In the distance was an ugly building with smoke billowing out of the tall chimneys. So there was a old building amongst these tea plantations. It was very ugly too because probably from the smoke which is coming out, billowing out is just coming out of the tall chimneys. Hey, a tea garden! Rajvir cried excitedly. He probably is seeing a tea garden for the first time. So he's like really excited. He says, hey, a tea garden. Rajvir cried excitedly because he's from Delhi, which is a metropolitan city. Pranjol, who had been born and brought up on a plantation, didn't share Rajvir's excitement. Since Pranjol grew up in Assam and amidst the tea plantations, he was not excited about the tea garden. But Rajvir definitely was because he was from Delhi. Oh, this is tea country now, he said. Now he says, Pranjal says, this is tea country now. He said, Assam has the largest concentration of plantations in the world. So he says, Assam has the largest concentration of tea plantations in the world. You will see enough gardens to last you a lifetime. He says, you have come to Assam, which has the largest concentration of plantations, tea plantation, and it is so huge that it takes a lifetime for you to see everything. He says that. I have been reading as much as I could about tea, Rajvi said. So now Rajvi says, I have been reading as much as I could about tea. Rajvi said, no one really knows who discovered tea, but there are many legends. So Rajvi says, I've been reading so much about tea because probably he would have done his background work since he was traveling to Assam. And he says, no one really knows who discovered tea. So we don't know who discovered, but there are many legends. Probably he says there are many stories behind who discovered the tea. What legends? Asks Pranjal. Pranjal asks, what legends are you talking about? Now Rajveer says, he probably would have studied. Well, there's the one about the Chinese emperor who always boiled water before drinking it. One day, a few leaves of the twigs burning under the pot fell into the water, giving it a delicious flavor. It is said that they were tea leaves. Now, Rajveer says that there are many stories which have come up to say how tea was discovered. The first story is about a Chinese emperor. Emperor refers to a king who always boiled water before drinking it. He used to always take drinking water. One day what happened was few leaves which were down under the boiling pot fell into the water, and it gave a nice delicious flavor. It gave a nice aroma, nice smell. It gave a nice smell and taste. It is said that they were tea leaves. Okay, this is what the first story of how tea was discovered. Tell me another, scoffed Pranjal. So he said, tell me another. We have an Indian legend too. So we have an Indian story too. Bodhidharma, an ancient Buddhist ascetic, cut off his eyelids because he felt sleepy during meditations. 10 tea plants grew out of the eyelids. The leaves of these plants, when put in hot water and drunk, banished sleep. So first was a Chinese story where a Chinese emperor always boiled water before drinking it, and accidentally few leaves fell into the water and it gave a nice flavor, delicious flavor, and that was a tea leaves. The second story is about Indian. It's about an Indian origin where Bodhidharma, an ancient Buddhist monk, cut off his eyelid because he felt very sleepy during the meditation, and from the eyelids 10 tea plants came out. The leaves of these plants, when put in hot water, so the eyelids of Bodhidharma, when he cut it because he could not meditate it, from the eye leaves 10 tea plants came, and these 10 the tea leaves, when you put it in hot water and drink it, it banished sleep. It threw away the sleep. This is another story. Tea was first drunk in China, Rajvir added. So Rajvir said first tea was drunk in China as far as 2700 BC. So he says tea was drunk in China first as far as 2700 BC, 2700 years before Christ, which means about 4700 years from now. In fact, words such as tea, chai and chini are from Chinese. So here Rajvi says chai and chini are from Chinese because they were the first to drink it, and they were doing it as early as 2700 BC, which is 4700 years ago. Tea came to Europe only in the 16th century. So tea came to the Europe only in the 16th century and was drunk more as medicine than as a beverage. So it was taken more of as a medicine and than as a normal drink. The train clattered into Mariani Junction. So now the train reached Mariani Junction. The boys collected their luggage and pushed their way to the crowded platform. So now that from Delhi, the train has reached Mariani Junction. Pranjol's parents were waiting for them. So Pranjol's parents were waiting for them at the railway station. Soon they were driving towards Dekia Bari. So Pranjal's parents, Pranjal and Rajvir, now they are driving towards Dekia Bari, the tea garden managed by Pranjal's father. So you'll have to remember the name. Dekia Bari is the tea garden managed by Pranjal's father. An hour later, the car veered sharply off the main road. So now all the four are traveling by car. Pranjal's parents and Rajvi are traveling by car from the railway station, and from there they have to go to Dekia Bari. So it's been more than an hour since they are driving, and they crossed a cattle bridge and entered Dekia Bari tea estate. So they had to cross a cattle bridge which is used for movement of cattle, and after that they reached Dekia Bari tea estate. On both sides of the gravel road were acre upon acre of tea bushes, all neatly pruned to the same height. So on the both the sides of gravel road, so it's a gravel road, not a proper tar road. It's like small stones, rounded stones being made as a road. So on the both sides of the gravel road were acre upon acre. There were lots of acre of tea bushes, all neatly pruned to the same height. If you go to any tea plantations and see, they'll be of the same height only, because they will not let the tea plant grow beyond, because the taste of the tea leaves vary. So they keep it at a certain height. They keep pruning it. They keep cutting it across all corners. So they all remain in the same height. Groups of tea pluckers with bamboo baskets on their backs, wearing plastic aprons, were plucking the newly sprouted leaves. So there were people who were working in the farm, in the tea plantation, Dekiabari tea garden, where tea pluckers were there. They were carrying bamboo baskets on their backs, wearing plastic aprons. Apron is like cloth-like material which you hang it to cover the front part. We're plucking the newly sprouted leaves. Pranjol's father slowed down to allow a tractor pulling a trailer load of tea leaves to pass. So as they entered into the Dekiabari garden, a tractor is going with a trailer load of tea leaves. It's just taking the leaves from the tea garden and it's going out. So Pranjal's father gave way. He slowed down so that the tractor which is carrying full of tea leaves could pass. This is the second flush or sprouting period, isn't it? Mr. Barua, Rajvir asked. This is the second flush or sprouting period, isn't it? Mr. Barua, Rajvir asked. So Pranjal's father's name is Mr. Barua. So he's asking Mr. Barua, is this the second time, second sprouting season? It's like second growing season, he is saying, because one people have cut and it's going out of the tractor, right? So Rajvir is asking, is this a second growing season? Sprouting season refers to the growing season, Rajvir asked. It lasts from May to July and yields the best tea. So Rajvir says, though he is from Delhi, he says the best second sprouting season starts from May to July, and that's the time when you get the best tea. Who is saying this? Rajvir, who is coming from Delhi. You seem to have done your homework before coming, Pranjol's father said in a surprise. Oh, you seem to have known so much. Though you're from Delhi, you seem to have done. Homework refers to some basic background work that he has done. You seem to have done your homework before coming, Pranjol's father said in a surprise. Pranjol's father could not believe that Rajvir could know so much about the tea sprouting season, when you can get the best tea, that is from May to July. So Pranjol's father, Mr. Barua, was surprised. Oh, you really have done some hard work to know about tea. Yes, Mr. Barua, Rajvir admitted, but I hope to learn much more while I'm here. So Rajvir says, no, yes, Mr. Barua, but I hope to learn more. So during my stay here in the tea garden, I'm going to learn much more than what I know. So let's move to the question and answers. Thinking about the language. Look at these words: upkeep, downpour, undergo, drop out, walking. They are built up from a verb keep, pour, go, drop, walk, and an adverb or a particle up, down, under, out, in. Use these words appropriately in the sentences below. You may consult a dictionary. A heavy dash has been forecast due to a low pressure in the Bay of Bengal. A heavy downpour. Downpour refers to a very heavy rainfall. Rakesh will dash major surgery tomorrow morning. Rakesh will undergo a major surgery tomorrow morning. My brother is responsible for the dash of our family property. My brother is responsible for the upkeep. Upkeep refers to the maintenance of our family property. The dash rate for this accountancy course is very high. The dropout refers to the people who are dropping out of the course or moving out. So the dropout rate for this accountancy course is very high. She went to the enterprise company to attend a walk-in interview. Walk-in interview refers to any interview without any prior appointment. So you can just walk in and do the interview. Now fill in the blanks in the sentences given below by combining the verb given in the brackets with one of the words from the box as appropriate. Over, by, through, out, up, down. These are the words given here. Let's see. The army attempted unsuccessfully to overthrow the government. Overthrow refers to sending the government out, throwing them out. Scientists are on the brink of a major breakthrough in cancer research. Major breakthrough refers to something very interesting, something very different thing which is going to come up. The state government plans to build a down pass for Bhubaneswar to speed up traffic on the main highway. Down pass refers to something like underground pass. Gautama's outlook on life changed when he realized that the world is full of sorrow. Outlook refers to the way you see things, your perspective. Rakesh seemed unusually downcast after the game. Downcast refers to being discouraged or being dull. Rakesh seemed unusually downcast after the game. He seemed downcast means dull or discouraged. Probably he lost in the game. That's what it refers as downcast. Downcast means discouraged. Now let's move to the next part. Think of suitable ing or ed adjectives to answer the following questions. You may also use words from those given above. How would you describe a good detective serial on television? How would you describe a good detective serial which you see on television? It's exciting, interesting. All these words you can use. A debate on your favorite topic, homework should be banned. You could write interesting. How would you feel when you stay indoors due to incessant rain, continuous rain? How would you feel? Really bored. How would you feel when you open a present? You're really surprised, you're excited, right? How would you feel when you watch your favorite program on television? Again, you're excited, you're really amused. Yes, you're looking forward. The look on your mother's face as you waited in queue, exhausted. You're all exhausted, right? How you feel when tracking a tiger in a tiger reserve forest. You're thrilled. You'll be thrilled, right? The story you have recently read or a film you have seen. You're really touched by it, by the story that you read or a film that you watched, or you're really surprised by the performance of the actresses there. So these are the words you can use. So thanks for watching. Please do subscribe to our channel. Thank you.